The commands we'll focus on here are found in two places: the Actions Add panel, and also in the Copy and Paste panel that appears with a 3-finger swipe. The functionality of these commands are identical, it's just a matter of which panel you choose to open. And the commands discussed in this video tie into a few layer commands that are more fully explained in other videos and exercises. The Cut, Copy, and Paste commands are all the same as expected. The Copy Canvas and Copy All commands also do the same thing. And this Duplicate command is similar but different from the Duplicate command that is seen when left swiping a layer. To demonstrate all of that, we'll be using these two Photoshop files that we previously downloaded and imported. And we'll start in by opening the Stroke Geometric Shapes file. And as you would expect, the Duplicate, Cut, Copy, and Paste commands that you see in these two panels work identically, and those commands are applied to the layer or layer selection that's currently targeted. With the orange ellipse layer selected, I'll tap the Copy command in the Copy and Paste panel. And when I tap Paste in the Copy and Paste panel, the Transform tool will automatically be selected, which in turn displays a marquee that surrounds the newly pasted ellipse. And the newly pasted ellipse is pasted directly atop of the original ellipse. In reopening the Layers palette, we see that that new ellipse is placed on a layer titled Inserted Image. I'm going to delete this layer to demonstrate that our copied orange ellipse is still lurking in the clipboard. And when I paste again, and this time I'm going to paste through the Actions Add palette, you'll again see that our orange ellipse is pasted on the dime. And again, the new layer is titled Inserted Image. And so with our orange circle still lurking in the clipboard, I'm going to close this canvas and open the Organic Shapes canvas, which is identically sized. And because these two canvases are identical in size, that orange circle will again be positioned on the dime, but on another canvas. To demonstrate, I'm going to hide the butterfly to clear the way, and I'm going to 3-finger swipe. And again, when I tap the Paste selection, the Transform tool will automatically be selected. And our orange circle is pasted on the dime again, but this time in another canvas. To continue this demonstration, I'm going to lose the orange circle, and again I'll do so by going to the Actions again and selecting Cut. And that orange circle is gone, but when I tap the Layer palette open, you can see that that inserted image layer is still there. So these Cut commands do not affect the layer, they only affect the objects on the layer. So I'm going to left swipe and delete that layer, and bring the butterfly back into view, and bring up the next two menu items, which is the Copy Canvas selection found in the Actions Add palette, and the Copy All selection found in the Copy and Paste palette. These two selections both create a new composite layer, and this new composite layer is a snapshot of all the other layers that are currently visible. So to demonstrate, let's open up the Layers palette and hide the flower and the palm, and let's make a composite of this butterfly and background color. And I'm selecting the butterfly layer because I want the composite to be pasted above the targeted layer. So I'm going to tap the Copy All, and when I tap the Paste selection, I should get the Transform tool and the marquee again. And reopening the Layers palette, you can see that the inserted image was placed above the selected butterfly layer. And when I toggle the butterfly in the background off, you can see in fact that that is a composite. So let's delete that. And this time let's make a transparent composite by turning on the palm and the flower. And this time we'll use the Actions Add palette, tap Copy Canvas, and tap Paste. We get our marquee again, open it up, and again the new composite layer landed just above the butterfly filled layer because that's the last layer that was selected. And when I long press on that visibility checkbox on the inserted image, I'll toggle the flower and the palm off again to show that that is in fact a composite. So let's delete that, turn on the other layers, and do a 3-finger swipe again to call up the Copy and Paste panel to talk about this Duplicate menu selection. which is similar yet different from this duplicate selection in the Layers palette. When there's no particular area of a target layer selected, these two selections both work the same with one exception. So tapping the duplicate on the Layers palette, I get a duplicate layer that's named identically. And when I tap the duplicate in the Copy and Paste palette, and then reopen the Layers palette, you can see that I get a duplicated layer, but that layer is titled Inserted Image. Now let's use the Selection tool and isolate a few areas of our butterfly layer. I'll grab a couple of dots here. Now with those 4 dots I just made, doing a 3-finger swipe again, and tapping the duplicate command. When I reopen the Layers palette, you can see that my duplicate was just those selected areas, and this time, because I had a selection, the name of the layer is titled From Selection. The menu items discussed so far only allow you to paste one layer at a time. If you wanted to duplicate 2 or more layers at once, you can do so by pressing and dragging. Select multiple layers by left swiping, and then drag the darker of the highlighted layers onto the canvas, and the dimmer highlighted layers will come along for the ride. You'll see the number of layers you're about to duplicate in the upper right hand corner of your selection. When you release, you'll have duplicate layers that are also named identically. It's easy enough to just left swipe to duplicate layers in the same file, but where this maneuver really proves itself powerful is being able to migrate copies of these multiple layers onto another canvas. With the multiple layers still selected by left swiping, drag again and see the number of layers about to be duplicated in the upper right hand corner of the selection. This time you'll need to keep pressing until you get into the other canvas, so use your free hand to select the gallery menu item. And if you don't keep pressing on your layers while in the gallery, a new canvas will be created for each of those layers when released. So while still pressing, use that free hand again and select the canvas in which you'd like to paste these layers. When that canvas opens, release your layer selections and they'll be placed in the Layers palette. Note that migrated layers will all be renamed Inserted Image. So if you established any sort of naming convention in the canvas from which they came, you're going to have to reinstate that naming convention in this canvas.